apologized, and we laughed. But that was just one stop. I also had to confess at the shop where I boosted a rolling pin and pie pan. No way I could bake a pie in some tinfoil piece of shit. And few other stores where I sticky-fingered this and that. When I got a James Beard Award nomination for Best Chef Northeast, I was reminded of where I come from, as if I could forget. Dying to tell someone, maybe celebrate, I went down to the Quiet Man, a classic Southie pub co-owned by my brother Paul. It was right across the street from Triple O's, the bar where Stephen the Rifleman Flemmy, a partner, ran crime boss Whitey Bulger's loan sharking operation, along with deadlier schemes. Once, Triple O's bouncer Kevin Weeks, a Bulger mob enforcer, flung an axe into the back of a brawler with what Weeks called Irish Alzheimer's, the disease that drives out all memories except grudges. The place was packed, but Southie Alzheimer's, the code of silence, kept patrons from calling an ambulance or the law. The guy survived. The Quiet Man served a less volatile cop and politician clientele, as well as the Triple O's riffraff. It was a beloved neighborhood joint, with America, love it or leave it, stenciled on the windows. Its food was great. Incredible steak tips, roast turkey, and twin-boiled lobsters stored in a white igloo cooler on the floor. For serious eaters, there was the John Wayne platter, with 3 meats, grilled sausage, chicken, and steak tips, hot pickled cherry peppers, and thick-cut steak fries. But mainly it was a homey neighborhood pub, where guys hung at the bar reading the Herald and drinking beers, always with an S, from plastic cups. You could get your cup chilled, meaning that the barman would shove it down in the ice bin and give it a twist. On Fridays, when I took my Aunt Mary there for lunch, she'd bring her own vodka so they could make her a martini, and I'd lug a bottle of wine with my own glass. As we ate, union guys would come by to pay respects. "Hello, Jim Kelly, sheet metal, Local 17. Mrs. Lynch, Billy O'Donnell, ironworkers, Local 7. I know Stephen. Say hi for me." Stephen Lynch, my cousin, was their hero, the youngest ever president of the Ironworkers Union before he went to law school, and then to Washington as our congressman from Southie. When I got to the Quiet Man the night of the Beard nomination, half the neighborhood was there. It was all kisses and backslaps and, "Hey, Barbara, what's going on?" "Well," I said, "I think I'm up for a James Beard Award." "Beard? I don't know him. Did he live in Old Harbor?" "James? Jimmy what? Some guy you slept with?" "I think she said Jimmy fucking Beard, right?" "Who the fuck is this Jimmy fucking Beard?" I had to laugh. The Quiet Man was the place where, a few years later, I staked my claim to Southie. Over lunch, my landlord asked, "Is it true you're opening a restaurant in New York?" "God, why would I do that? I have 5 restaurants now. I don't need any more." "That's a shame," he told me, "because I have more than 1 million square feet of warehouse space in Fort Point Channel." It was a stretch of Southie waterfront that I hadn't explored in years. In spite of myself, I was curious. Fort Point Channel was once the textile district, though most of that trade had dried up. The most thriving business left was Gillette World Shaving Headquarters, one of Southie's major employers when I was young. Artists had carved lofts out of the beautiful vacant factories. A lot of those buildings were designated landmarks, elegant examples of industrial design from the 19th and early 20th centuries. After dark, the area had an eerie frontier feeling. The streets were desolate. As we set out on foot, I flashed back on walking that route with my mother, from Old Harbor down Old Colony Avenue to A Street. Then we stopped in front of a building that I knew well. It was the point where my mother and I would turn left for Downtown Crossing and the big department stores, Filene's, Gilchrist's, and Jordan Marsh. On a good day, she'd buy me a Jordan Marsh blueberry muffin. They were legendary. I'd pick at my muffin all the